everybody and welcome to the channel. Bob Sales this time's next year. I have 3 Avatar Banshees dropping to the app Sunday the 19th of November, 8 AM PT, which of course is 4 PM UK time. So with that being said, let's get into the story. Avatar and Avatar's Way of the Water was marketed as James Cameron's Avatar. This is the epic 2009 science fiction film, directed, written and co-produced and co-edited by James Cameron. He also done the sequel in 2022. James Cameron has featured on this channel multiple times at this point, and full disclosure, he's actually my favourite film director and explorer. And again, if you don't take James Cameron seriously as an explorer, please check out my Titanic video. Both of these films have a star-studded cast, including the likes of Sam Worthington, Zoe Salinger, Stephen Lang, Michelle Rodriguez and Sigourney Weaver, and even Kate Winslet. And yes, I probably butchered all of them names. So the first film, Avatar, it is set in mid-22nd century when humans are colonising Pandora. Pandora is actually a lush habitable moon of gas, a giant in the Alpha Centauri star system. Humans have actually come here to mine the valuable mineral unobtainium. The expansion of the mining colony threatens the continued existence of the local tribe of Na'vi, a humanoid species indigenous to the planet Pandora. So the Earth is essentially dying as the resources have all been used. The resources from Pandora could actually save it, but Pandora is a very unique place with unique people and unique animals protecting it. The decision is made to send an undercover ops team and do reconnaissance on the planet and the people. The plan is to move or kill the people and steal the planet's resources. Each undercover soldier will have an avatar. The avatar looks like the native people. It's essentially a skin that the human can control. Each avatar was made for a certain person and can only be used for that person. In the case of Jake Sully, his twin brother actually died. Jake Sully actually took his place down to the fact they were twins and they had the same genes. So without going into the whole story, Jake actually falls in love with the people, the animals, the planet and of course the women. The title of the film actually refers to the genetically engineered Na'vi body. This was of course operated from the brain of a remotely located human being. You are now one of these natives and you can now interact with the natives of Pandora. Development of Avatar actually begun in 1994. When James Cameron wrote an 80-page treatment for the film. Filming was supposed to take place after the completion of Cameron's 1997 film, you guessed it, the Titanic. This was for a planned release in 1999. However, according to Cameron, the necessary technology was not yet available to achieve his vision for the film. And let's face it, I'm glad they waited. Even work on the Na'vi language actually begun in 2005. And Cameron began developing the screenplay and fictional universe in as early as 2006. Avatar, the first film, was officially budgeted at $2,037 million. This was due to the groundbreaking array of new visual effects Cameron needed to achieve the film. Of course, Cameron didn't do this himself, he did it with Weta Digital. Now, if you've never heard of this company before, this is actually founded by none other than Peter Jackson, yes, the movie director. And this is actually a New Zealand-based company, but we'll get to that later. Other estimates put the cost at between 280 million to 310 million for production and 150 million for promotion. The film made extensive use of new motion capture filming techniques and was released for traditional viewing, 3D viewing and 4D viewing, a first of its kind. Avatar premiered on December the 10th, 2009 in London and was released in the United States on December 18th, 2009. Critics highly praised its groundbreaking visual effects, though the story was considered to be predictable. During its theatrical run, the film broke several box office records, including becoming the highest grossing film of all time. In July 2019, this position was overtaken by none other than the Avengers Endgame. With Avatar being shipped to other places like China in March of 2021, it returned to becoming the highest grossing film since then. This film actually was one of the first to gross more than $2 billion.
Tootie's riding toward the Krusty Krab at lunchtime. He's got money. The
success of this film also led to electronics manufacturers releasing 3D television and caused 3D films to increase in popularity. Due to the success of the first film, the second film is released, and this is Avatar: The Way of the Water. In Avatar: Way of the Water, it's based 16 years after the Na'vi repelled the RDA invasion of Pandora. Jake Sully, yes, the same Jake Sully, now lives as chief of the clan. He also goes on to have a family with Neturi, but the the RDA do in fact return to colonise the same planet. Jake and his family actually escape and hide out with a different tribe. Now this tribe is a lot different, they're actually aquatic people. They look like the next evolution of the Navis. Now the second film's estimated budget was $350 to $460 million. This film is one of the most expensive films ever made, and I'm not surprised. Avatar: The Way of the Water premiered in London on December 6, 2022 and was released in the United States on December 16th, 2022. Again, the critics praised the visual effects and the technical achievements, but criticised the plot and the lengthy runtime. So even though we can't please the critics, it was a major box office success, breaking multiple records and grossing over $2.3 billion worldwide. Avatar 3 is supposed to be released in 2025, Avatar 4 is 2029, Avatar 5 is 2031. And yes, they've already been planned, and some of them have already been part filmed. So let's talk fun facts and get into some things you probably didn't know. We talked a bit about James Cameron visiting the Mariana Trench in the Titanic video. This is the deepest part of the ocean. He was also recording footage for the new Avatar films. All the actors took extensive freediving and breathing control courses. When filming, if wearing the diving gear, the bubbles would get in the way of the motion captured dots on the actors' faces. So the decision was made for the actors to actually hold their breath while they were filming their scenes. Now Kate Winslet had already done some of this for the Titanic movie, but by the end of Avatar: The Way of the Water ended filming, she could hold her breath for 7 minutes and broke a world record for filming underwater.
What was that?
What do you think it was?
I don't know, it could have been 6:10, it could have been 7:10.
It was 7:15.
That record was originally held by Tom Cruise. Did you know also after the Titanic filming ended, she actually said she would never work with Cameron again as it was miserable and really hard work. And as mentioned before, some of the water scenes for the next 3 movies have already been shot. James Cameron didn't want the actors to age between filming, coining this term as the Stranger Things effect. As mentioned before, The Way of the Water was really delayed and it was actually supposed to be released in 2014, but it didn't actually come out to 2022, 14 years after the first. But what took so long? According to Cameron, it was the script writing itself. Also, the new tribe were heavily based off Maori culture and the culture of New Zealand. From the tattoos to some of the language, they also have their own form of haka, the war dance, famously performed by the rugby team, the All Blacks. Even the whales are a big part of Maori culture, and this is also the same for Way of the Water. Again, some of the filming was actually done in New Zealand. In fact, the New Zealand government actually helped fund the new Avatar sequels through their screen production grant. They roughly invested 104 million New Zealand dollars into the new Avatar films. Now I know McFalane do the physical toys, so I half expected McFalane would have this IP seal. But veve is a New Zealand based company, and maybe that helped them in this case. But again, if you did want to match your digitals to your physicals, McFalane have you covered. Also, the rights was actually brought from Fox and was brought out by, you guessed it, Disney. Disney are actually building a part in their park right now. I think it's either a themed world or a part of a ride, but it's for Avatar. And again, it was only a couple of weeks ago, the new game Avatar was released for the PS5. And I'm thinking that's actually the reason behind the quality behind these collectibles. So that's been the story, let's get into the drop article. Feel like you're embarking on a spectacular aerial adventures with these 3 Banshee collectibles from the Avatar film series. This item drops Sunday the 19th of November, 8 AM PT, which of course is 4 PM UK time. This drop will be in blind box waitlist format and list price for all these collectibles is going to be 35 gems. These are all FAs and the first available mint for public sale will be 41. A total of 90 of each rarity will be kept by veve and the licensors. So Jake's Banshee is the only one with the animation and sound. The edition size for this is 1800 editions. This is classed as the rare variant. This was in the first and the second film. Nettree's Banshee is the ultra rare variation and she will be mint in 1200 editions. This one is based off the second film, The Way of the Water. Now the secret rare is the Colonel's Banshee and this one is also from the second movie. This one is mint in 700 edition and this one looks really nice. Now I do believe with this drop, veve missed a trick here. A big part of the film is to have this unique bonding process between the rider and the creature. They literally connect. So it's a bit of a shame it wasn't put in place so later we could potentially get the riders to connect with the banshees. And that in itself make a neat animation if you had both collectibles. So because of the lack of animation, I do believe this is going under retail. I personally like the animated one over all of them, but the secret rare is really nice. So if you like me and you just like the animated, waiting to the aftermarket is your best bet. So the price is a bit higher than I would like with this drop, as it's not a main character, it's more a main creature. With this drop, all should be animated with sound, that would be a lot better. And please veve, if you don't animate them all with sound, at least make the animated the secret rare. Now one thing I would also say, the colours are not exactly the same from what I can see on film to what I can see on the app. That being said, until I see them in AR, I'll make my opinions then. So let me know your thoughts. Are you going for this drop? Do you like this drop? And should we have a rider in the future? As always, I've been your host Bob Sales. This time next year, we will be millionaires. A peace.
Yeah! That's right! Who's up next?